everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, so nice to meet you all here. Hi, everybody. Hope you're having a great weekend, resting in the spa, having some self care. Hello, ladies. How is everybody doing? So happy to have you all here today. So happy. This is our first webinar of the year, first of many, really. I already have a lot of people, professionals, experts in their field, all lined up and ready to share their insights and their knowledge, really. Thank you all so much for joining in. Thank you so much. Are you a woman in healthcare ready to take control of your financial future and accelerate action in your life? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Olutoun Sanusi-Oladunni, founder of Beyond Healthcare Mentorship, a platform dedicated to empowering healthcare professionals like yourself, right, to recognize your incredible skills and explore diverse opportunities beyond traditional roles. We've helped 280 professionals across 4 continents thus far, and this year promises to be even better. I'm incredibly excited for today's session. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, the incredibly knowledgeable Tosin Oloruntowoju. Tosin is a distinguished chartered stockbroker and financial expert. He's an MBA and a prestigious FCS qualification. She brings a wealth of experience and a deep commitment to empowering women to take decisive actions towards their financial well-being. Tosin, welcome. I'm so glad to have you join us. Over to you, Tosin.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Nice to be here. Thank you.
So today we are talking about accelerating action for healthcare professionals, right, in terms of their finances. We are so focused on our clients, on our patients, on really helping our communities to achieve accessible healthcare, right? But then again, our finances take the back seat. So it's been a pressing issue among my mentees, and really I've seen it across board. And we decided today we will be focusing on financial intelligence. So over to you, Tosin, for your presentation.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone, once again. It's nice to be here and thank you for having me. Let's start. So, the theme for the 2025 International Women's Day is what? Accelerate action. Accelerate action. So, what does that mean? What does accelerate action mean? Make bold decisions as a female. Invest in yourself. Start a side business. Attend networking events, mentor someone, learn something new, take a step, take an action. Yes, you're thinking about it, oh, I will do this, I will do that, maybe when I'm this, when I'm that. Move on from thinking to taking action, accelerate action, do something. Overcome your limitations. Oh, I'm shy, physical limitation, social limitation, psychological limitation, cultural, whatever it is. Move on, do something, take action. Now we're relating this theme, this accelerate action theme, to finance today to say, as a female in the healthcare space, even whatever space you are in, even if it's not healthcare, what is your plan as regards your finances? What are you doing about your finances? So it's not just to just say, oh, I'm earning an income, I'm earning a 6-digit figure income per month or a 7-digit figure. It's beyond that. What are you doing? Deliberate steps are you doing to ensure that you move on financially? You get to financial independence. You don't have to wait for a 9 to 5 job. Now, there's a need to invest in yourself. So the point here is people will only pay for the value they see. Are you adding value? Do you know your value? Do you know your worth? Are you investing in yourself? Are you setting goals? Are you investing in trainings? Are you educating yourself? Do you know your value? Can you own your value? What are your beliefs? What are the principles that you believe that are important as regards how you live, how you walk, what you do, how you do what you do? Are you living life with intention? Or are you just moving on? Okay, day one, Monday is gone. Day two, Tuesday is gone. Month one is gone. Month two is gone. What are you doing as regards your finances? How are you planning to teach the next generation? And it's only what you know and you've practiced that you can be able to teach the next generation in an appropriate manner that doesn't show that you're just teaching theory. It's practical. When you're talking to
Yes.
practicality, is more acceptable than when you're just talking theory. When you're talking theory, people know, okay, she's just talking theory from the book. But has she practiced it? Has she practiced it? Is it working for her? So with this background in mind, let's dive into financial intelligence. What is financial intelligence? It's the ability to understand and manage your personal finances effectively, making informed decisions as regards your money that achieves financial goals that you have in store, right? That gives you stability, and that includes skills and knowledge like what? Financial literacy, basic concepts. Do I know what my expenses are monthly? Do I budget monthly, or do I wait for the paycheck to come and I say, okay, after the paycheck has come, okay, I do this, I do that, I do no. You should budget ahead of paycheck so that you are looking at your needs, not your want. Do I save? Do I invest? There's a difference between saving and investment. When I save, my money is just kept somewhere. When I invest, I'm making my money work for me. How do I manage debt? Do I just borrow for consumption, or do I borrow for investment to grow my wealth? How do I manage risk? Do you know that there's risk to every decision you're making? There's risk. How do I manage the risk? How do I balance risk and return? Do I know what they call asset allocation? How many asset classes do I invest in? There are many asset classes to invest in. Do I do diversification? There's a difference between asset allocation and diversification. What's the difference? So when I say I'm allocating across different asset classes, I say, okay, I want to invest in stocks. I want to invest in fixed income products like treasury bills, FI, commercial papers. I want to invest in real estate. These are what they call asset allocation, different asset classes, different baskets. Now, there's something called diversification. It's different. So if I'm investing in stocks, what kind of stocks am I buying? Banking stocks, real estate stocks, construction, industrial stocks. What kind of stocks am I buying? So diversification within an asset class is different from normal asset allocation. So these are different things. Am I planning for my retirement? At the age of retirement, by the time you get to retirement, it's too late by that time. You're meant to start planning as you start working or as you are a student. What do I want my retirement to look like? How do I want my retirement to look like? Do I want to be waiting for pension, or do I want to have investment that are generating income to ensure that I don't have to wait for my pension? What are my financial goals? Where do I want to be in 5 years' time? What investment do I want to have in 5 years' time? Where do I want to be in financially in 5 years' time? What are my goals? Medium-term goals, education and all, long-term goals, have an estate or have it. It's not impossible. Note that it's not impossible. Have a house, have a land, and all. These are the things that you need to look at. And as we delve into this topic even deeper as we go along, I think I'll be able to explain more. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That's like crash course, crash course in financial intelligence or finance 101. Thank you so much, Tosin.
Thank
So
you.
moving on, this yeah. So moving on, this whole theme really is accelerate action. We need to move fast, very fast, right? So thank you so much for setting up the stage so powerfully. That's
Thank
such
you.
valuable context to our audience, majorly healthcare professionals. Now we are going to dive into specific questions. A few people sent in questions and I have them all lined up. But those in the comments, those joining us live, I'm keeping an eye on the comment section. So if you have any questions or one question leads to the other, please feel free to drop it there and I'll quickly look at it. So we continue like this. And Tosin, building a strong financial foundation starts with understanding the basics. For someone just starting to invest, what are some beginner-friendly investment options that they could consider? Right, these are people that are just starting to invest. We are very risk adverse. This set of people are very risk adverse. We don't want to send in our money and then not see it. It would have been better for us to just keep it by our side or leave it in the bank, right? So keeping in mind that we have demanding schedules as healthcare professionals, what are the beginner-friendly options that are there available?
So I will advise two books straight away. You need to improve your knowledge. So if you're a beginner, you need to even understand what the basics are. And I'll advise two friendly books. They are old books. One of the book is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. It gives you the basics. So if you don't even have a clue about finance, when you read that book, you open your mind. Another book I would advise is the book called The Richest Man in Babylon by George M. Carson. those two books, when you start with those two books, some of them are online, you have some e-copies online and all. I think you should start
Yeah.
with knowledge. When you start with knowledge, then you will have an idea of, okay, why should I even care about my finance, and what's the big deal about it? What are the basics about it? Those books would whet your appetite, and from there you can now start growing. But knowledge is important, and so I will start with you improving your knowledge.
True, true. Knowledge is very important, and you need to make informed decisions, right? You
Yes.
can't just take advice here, there, everywhere. You need to understand what is going on, understand what you are getting into. So
Yeah.
that's a very, very practical advice. Now let's talk about taking the first step. We've read the book. What should we do next? What are the 2 to 3 essential first steps that someone in healthcare should take today to actively improve their financial literacy?
Okay. Moving beyond the books, you need to start with discipline. Finance is about discipline. Financial independence is about discipline. Do I want to be financial? You ask yourself the question, do I want to be financially independent? What would it cost me? What will it
Yeah.
cost me? It will cost you discipline, because sometimes you see certain things that you feel like having, but you remember your goal and you say, no, this doesn't align with my goal. You know? So
Yeah.
start by being accountable. Get a book, or for you if you are techie, open an Excel sheet. Start documenting your expenses. What do I, so you earn, let's say you earn 500,000 monthly. Where does that 500,000 go to? That's basics. Where does it go to? So every month, document. I spend X on transport. I spend X on feeding. I spend X on rent. I spend X on. So you need to know where the money is going to, right? But remember that one of the things you also need to do is to be intentional. We said accelerate action. You need to save
Yes.
intentionally. So in your budget, you must create a budget, obviously. In that budget, you must have a portion for saving. So it's usually recommended a minimum of 10 to 20% of your income should be saved monthly. So saving should be on your budget. So as rent,
Okay. Okay.
if you're in Nigeria, for instance, treasury bills. If you're in Nigeria, for instance, you go to a bank, you go walk up to any bank, any of your banks, tell them you want to do what they call secondary market treasury bills. The minimum rate, I think it's about minimum of 15%. Once you have a minimum of 100,000 naira, you can. To do. Those are the first basic steps I would advise you take. From there, you can now start diversifying. Okay, I've been saving, I've been investing in treasury bills for such a time, maybe 2, 3 months. What do I want to do next? And you now move on to buying shares and other things. But the first basic thing, as I said, is document your expenses, have a budget, go into saving, and start buying fixed income securities. That will guarantee you have with your fixed income investment, you give your.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. So just we read the books, and then the first thing is to keep it as safe as possible, knowing fully well that we'll get interest and not deductions. The first thing is fixed deposit and treasury bills. Yes, I can hear you clearly. Yes. So we have a very fantastic community joining us live. If you are getting value from this, please tag 2 or 3 of your amazing healthcare colleagues who you believe will benefit from this session. So we move on to the next question. Tosin, can you still hear us? Okay, we lost Tosin for a moment. I'm sure she'll be back. So we have so many questions popping in, some on the live chat and some directly into my DM. So I'm just noting each and every one of them. But if you have a friend or a colleague that you know would benefit from this event, kindly tag them or share the link with them so they could join in. Tosin has already spoken a bit. If you are a new investor, yeah, she's back. So if you're a
I'm
new
sorry. I'm
investor,
sorry. I'm sorry.
it's fine. If you're a new investor, the first thing is to get a few books, which she has mentioned, which is investing books and all of that. The next thing is to walk into any of your financial institutions and apply really to have maybe invest in treasury bills or have a fixed deposit. Minimum is about 100,000 naira, and then we take it up from there. So, Tosi, moving on. Many
Yeah.
women in healthcare many women in healthcare really experience career breaks or what you call non-traditional path. How can they effectively manage and grow financially throughout their careers, navigating all these different stages, right? We have the you newly married, those taking time off for childbirth or to raise the children and all of that. We have career breaks in between. So how can we ensure that our financial, will I say, portfolio keeps growing through all of that?
Okay. As regards as regards that break, there's something called emergency fund.
Yeah,
With emergency fund, you have a plan. Now,
yeah,
before you get to that financial break, that's why we're saying you have to be intentional about saving. You have to be intentional about investing. There's something called emergency fund. 6 months worth of expenses is what it's supposed to
yeah.
set aside in your emergency fund. But you can't know what your emergency fund will be if you don't have an idea of what your expenses are. So, for instance, you earn 500,000 naira. Your expenses in a month is probably hovering around 350,000 naira. Imagine you've set aside your 20%, as we said, 100K in savings, but you spend 350,000 naira maybe in food, in transport, in rent, and other things here and there, and you have that accurate figure, apart from maybe one or two things that come up within a period, but you know that it's not regular. Your regular expense 350K. When you have that in mind, the idea behind emergency fund is keep 6 months worth of that
Okay,
in a savings account. So to round it up, let's say 400K. So you should keep at least 2.5 million naira in a savings account. How will you get to that point? You have to be intentional. So that your 100K that you're saving every month, you should keep it in fixed income. Make sure
okay,
you have 6 months worth of that. Let's just make it a
okay.
round figure to 2.5 million. So that means at least by the time you keep 100K aside every month for a year, how much do you have? 1.2 million. In 2 years, you have 2.4 million, right?
Mm,
So technically, after 2 years, you have kept 6 months worth of savings. That amount is not just in your bank account, it's generating some. So, for instance, as I said, in the Nigerian space, you have 100K as minimum amount you can invest in secondary market treasury bills with the banks. I'm talking about the banks now because they are one of the safest. Yes, you can go into apps, but some apps are sometimes not safe. We've heard of the different money making schemes that have people have run into trouble with. Do you understand? I'm saying a bank, a typical bank. So by the time you're investing 100K every month in treasury bills, you do that for 12 months. Remember that you don't have to break the last one, right? So you buy treasury bills this month with 100K, right? Next month, another treasury bills for 1 year. Then 2 months time, another treasury. So you do that every month for 2 years. You have at least 2.4 million naira. That is in an investment, right? It's generating for you. And as it's maturing, you are reinvesting. For instance, if let's just use a simple number, 20% interest in a year. That money has
yeah,
grown from 100K in January to 120K January next year. Do we understand? So as it's
yeah,
maturing, you are investing back. Now, by the time you have that 6 months worth of money in emergency fund, then you can now move on to say, okay, I want to buy shares. Okay, I want to buy a land. Okay, so but you already have your minimum buffer in your emergency fund. So God forbid if you lose your job or if you are out of job for a period, you know that at least every month an amount matures. Do we
yeah,
understand? So if throughout
yeah,
2024, every month you invested 100K, every month 100K for 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, what happens? In the next year, every month you'll be getting maturities.
yeah,
Now, the good thing is that beyond treasury bills, the government has given us talk about Nigerian space now, opportunity for you to buy what they call savings bond. The savings bonds are for 2 years and 3 years. So that technically means if throughout the year one, you invested 100K, and the minimum, guess what? The minimum is 5K. It's not up to 100K.
Mm.
It's 5K is the
Wow.
minimum, yes, savings bond.
Wow.
And it opens every month, first week of every month. It has been opening for over 10 years now, right?
Wow.
So if you invest in that, every quarter they will give you interest. I think the going interest now is, I think it's still about 15%. So they will give you 15% prorated every quarter, every 3 months. So imagine if you had that running for the last 2 years, you definitely have liquidity. So the idea behind it is that you have to make your money work for you. See what's happening with inflation. Inflation simply means your money is being eroded, right? What you can buy with 100K today, you can't buy with 100K tomorrow. So you have to make your money work for you with that in mind. So that's what you need to do. You first have your emergency fund, then from there you move on to stocks. From there you move on to having a land, and you can have a land. Oh, look at me and say, oh, how much is a land? How can I get a land? You can create an investment club with 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 trusted people. Come together, tell a lawyer to draft a document for you, a JV for you. You put money together and come together and buy a land. So there are many possibilities for you, even as someone who is willing to grow and accelerate as regards your finance. Thank you.
Wow. 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 Imagine savings bonds that has been ongoing for over a decade, and the minimum is 5K. Oh my goodness, we need to jump on this. So that's really an important point, also in one area that women are increasingly making strides. Another area is in entrepreneurship. I see women in healthcare, so many other things that they're doing by the side. You can call it side hustle, you can call it additional stream of income and all of that, right? So you have a lot of people doing different things. They could be a doctor 9 to 5 or however their shift is run, and over the weekends or at their free time, they're event planners, they are bakers, they are doing so many other things, even coding and all of that. They are going into entrepreneurship now. So how can women in healthcare leverage those unique skills, experiences, and understanding of the healthcare landscape? Right? How can they leverage it? So many people are doing so many things concurrently. And then even though we are speaking to a finance expert and I'm an healthcare person, a professional, there are so many overlaps between our industries. So now the thing about it is, even as I'm a healthcare professional, what can I do in terms of finance? What can I do? What else can I do? How can I utilize my skills? How can I utilize my expertise to ensure that money is still making money, and at least I can sleep and I'm still getting some credit alerts here and there. What can I do?
Okay, there are many opportunities to leverage. Now, for instance, you say you're a healthcare professional. You are too many opportunities. So, for instance, you're in an association. That association has a number of people, right? Do they know you in that association? Have you proven your worth in that association? Do you bring value to the table in that association? Networking is something that is very important. Do they know you for? Do you have skills that you can market in that association? You know, can you create a niche for yourself in your industry? Can they know you for something in your industry? Can you create a brand for yourself in that industry? You know, a number of times people just take for granted their knowledge, take for granted their exposure, take for granted their networks. Let people know you for what you can do. In your
Yeah,
community, do they know that you're a medical person?
yeah.
When they want to do an outreach, can they call you? It's in those kind of places that you can show your skills and add value, and people can make you top of mind. And as they make you top of mind, you create a niche for yourself. So it's beyond your doing your 9 to 5 as a medical practitioner. Can I create a niche for myself? What do I want to do when I'm out of this 9 to 5 job? What is my passion? What can I do? Can I create a niche for myself in this medical line? Can I do, I think they call it medical informatics or something. Can I create a niche for myself? Just do something and add value, improve your skills. What else can I learn in this medical line? How can I
Wow.
specialize in this medical line? And these are the things that you can do for yourself, that you can create income. I can do my own what they call PP, private practice, right? I can do my private. Can I consult? Can I teach? Can I mentor? Do we understand? So you have to think outside the box and think of multiple streams of income. And you start now. When you are focused, the sky is not the limit. When you are focused, remain focused and improve yourself, because we are in the AI world where many things can be found online. How can I personalize? How can I create a brand? And there's one thing that AI cannot do. AI cannot behave completely like a human being. There are unique situations, and there are unique events, and there are unique circumstances. AI cannot generalize. Cannot personalize rather. AI can only generalize. So can I personalize in this space? And can I be known for something? Thank you.
Wow. So that brought to mind really when you said, what are you known for within your community? Right? A lot of people, when you wake up in the morning, you're wearing your clinical coat, you're going out, or your any whatever it is that makes you, or your scrubs, whatever it is that identifies you as a professional or as a healthcare practitioner. So your community is obviously looking at you and you're wondering, okay, what else is she doing and all. So if there's a gathering and they're saying, oh, we need first aid, we need a doctor, we need a nurse, they already know you for that. But just imagine if within that space they're asking, oh, who can plan this conference for us or who can plan this outreach for us? That is event planning. That is not really
Yeah,
core medical skills. That's more of event
yeah,
planning or program
yeah,
management or
yeah,
project management. So it
yeah.
reminds me even of myself, right? Even as a pharmacist, I said, okay, I learned about compounding and all of that in pharmacy. What else can I use it for? And that's how I got into skincare. And that is how I built my own skincare brand using
Absolutely,
shea butter as a foundation.
absolutely,
And you see
absolutely,
a lot of people are
absolutely.
pivoting to natural skincare. No, a lot of people are
Yeah,
very, very conscious right now. They don't just want to slap chemicals on their skin and then
at all.
wait and see if it's going to turn into a problem later on. They are going for core natural, right? So you see that even in my pharmaceutical, let's say expertise and training, I got to do compounding, pharmacognosy for those of us who are pharmacists, our herbs, our natural plants around us. So there are a lot of things you can do. If you are not doing skincare and compounding, you can also go into makeup. You can also go into hairdressing. You can also, I have people that are my mentees are crocheting, they are painting. So many things you can do than photographers, really. So you have a lot of things that you
And
can do. And
yeah.
as yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, and
as
with that,
many
you created a personal brand with that. You created a
yes.
personal brand with that. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. So even as a lady, as a healthcare practitioner, and as a guy, if you are listening, you have so many things that work for you. So many things. Your 5, 6 years in medical school is not just to do clinical. So many things outside that realm can be applicable, and you will find opportunities when you put yourself out there. We have a few more questions that are coming in, but I just want to throw this out there now. So, Tosin, even as a finance expert and you're speaking to healthcare professionals, some of them are wondering, oh, maybe she's going too deep. What is going on here? How can I learn more? So, there's a question that came in, and I feel like that question is very, very basic, very, very generic for us to address. How do we build our network? We know we are talking about finance and healthcare. There's really, well, there are overlaps, like I said earlier, but how do we build our networks? If we surround ourselves with only healthcare professionals, we will all be speaking the same language. So, but when we when we go out there, we are friends with lawyers. We build our network of lawyers, our network of finance gurus like yourself, our network of architects and all. How do we do that? Is it by attending other conferences, right? Or by just growing the network and putting yourself out there in your community? You have to network with the accountant or the architect. How do we do it really? How do we start that?
Now we are all in a community. Now
Yeah.
let's start from the basic community, your family, right? I'm sure you are probably one or two. You're not, all of you in a family are not medical people, right?
No.
So you have one or two other people in the family that are in other professions. We can attend some of their events. You
Mm.
attend some of their events. Oh, my name is X and Y. I'm a pharmacist. Oh, my name is X and Y. I'm this. So you put yourself out there. And again, your family already knows the value you have. And so it's not hard for them to invite you for some of those functions. Some of us are also in church communities. Do they know you in your church community as a pharmacist? We are organizing a program in my church and, excuse me, we're thinking, oh, who will we invite as regards the medical, because we want to have a medical outreach too. So we had to look for those who were top of mind to invite for medical outreach. Those kind of events. You come for it. You network. They know what you can do. You put yourself out there. You're already building a network. right? So it's not only in your particular profession, but it's important that they know you in that profession, right? But beyond that, in your community, in your family, right? Other professions, other professionals in your family, in your church community, right? Even in your office community, because even in your office, right, there are other people who know other people in those communities. So networking is not hard. It's not hard. Just be friendly and know your value and put out your value out there. You understand? And you get, and again, you have LinkedIn. You have LinkedIn. You have many friends on LinkedIn that are not core medical professions. Do you reach out to them? So we have so much opportunities, really. We have so much opportunities. But as much as possible, know your value and put out your value. Make people understand what your value is and be professional as possible and improve yourself. On the back of all that, you most likely grow your network.
Wow. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. So many other niches within, even if you are maybe your sister or brother's school, your kid's school, so many places to network
Absolutely,
outside
absolutely,
of
absolutely.
traditional, like as we know
Mm,
it. Many
yeah,
opportunities, and it just takes a step, right? Just takes, oh, hello, how you doing? I'm a healthcare professional, or I'm a nurse, I'm a doctor, I'm an architect. Nice to meet you. What do you do? And from there, discussions, you never can tell where discussions can take you,
can go.
right?
Yes,
I'm telling
absolutely.
you, we've talked about the importance of financial planning, Tosin. What are some common pitfalls that you see women make in their financial planning? You know, I'm trying to plan my finance. I have noted down what I spend per month and all of that. What are the pitfalls?
Hmm. I think I'll go to the. Should we go to the myths or should we talk about the pitfalls? Pitfalls meaning dangers, risks. Now,
Yeah.
there are. How do we put this? Avoid get rich quick schemes.
Mm,
Avoid get rich quick schemes. There are some people that will say, "Oh, bring an amount of money in a month, we double it."
mm,
Sit back and think, what does this person want to do with this money in this economy that will double this money that I cannot do?
mm.
Do you understand? So we need to
Yes.
avoid get rich quick schemes. We need to avoid those pyramids. You know, anything that that sounds suspicious is suspicious, and try to understand that you don't build massive wealth in one day. It's a gradual process. It's a consistent discipline. It's a steady process. So one thing I will advise is avoid get rich quick schemes. Avoid greed. Sometimes you invest and particularly I'll go into shares now. You invest and oh, for whatever reason, the market just went up for whatever reason for just a very short period. And you now start in. Meanwhile, before you got in, you had a target. Oh, I want to get exit at this particular price. All of a sudden, that price has been exceeded, and you're still imagining that, oh, it will still go more than that higher. Meanwhile, your original plan was to trade, not to invest. Don't be greedy. Take your profits and leave. So those are the two main things that they avoid get rich quick schemes and avoid greed. And understand that it takes a while for you to grow your wealth. You grow your wealth. You don't it's not magic. It's a process. So understand that, and whatever comes to you with the thought, oh, magic, quick get rich, double in a month, double in 2 months, know that there's something fishy about it. A lot of people have gotten burnt and have gotten discouraged, and some people have even committed suicide on back of what I'm talking about. And so we need to be careful.
You said two things now very interesting. You said, are you in there to trade or to invest? Right? So trading is when you buy, you sell, you buy, you sell. But invest really, it's a time frame. Like you said,
Yeah,
if you said you're going to put that money in for 3 months, at the end of 3 months, you definitely might want to use it for something else, which was why you invested in the first place. Or you could be there for long term, you could be there for
yeah,
years, and you
yeah.
can go on from them. Now, just two or three more questions, and then we'll call it a day. Now, for someone in healthcare, how often should we review our financial plan? And I know that there might be some life changes that might initiate us maybe reviewing sooner than expected. But how often, optimally, should we review our financial plan?
Hmm. I'll say so. It depends on what you mean. So I'll say I'll start with goals. What do you have goals? Do you have goals? So for instance, my goal could be I want to have X amount in stocks. I want to have X amount in fixed income in my emergency fund. I said I want to have X number of land, right? Another goal, financial goal could be I want to improve my education. Another financial. So there are many goals, right? What is my goal? What is the duration of my goal? So for instance, if I have a goal of and for instance, if I have a goal of ensuring that I pay my rent as I went due, that's a goal. That's a goal. On the back of that goal, I will know that if my rent is, for instance, 1.2, because the financial goal, because the stress that comes with you not being able to meet your rent as I went due, you can't imagine. So
I
imagine your rent is 1.2 million per annum. What's my financial goal? My financial goal is to ensure I meet my rent as at when due. How much
yes,
do I earn? I earn maybe, for instance, a million naira or 500K per month. To ensure I meet that goal, I must set aside 100K every month to meet my 1.2 million rent when it's due. So, for
yes,
instance, the rent is due in December. You are in January. What should I do to ensure I don't stress myself? Every month, I set aside from my salary 100K. That's a financial plan. That's a
mm,
goal. Now, another goal could be within that 1 year, I want to have X amount invested. Now, not saved. I'm talking about emergency fund. So imagine someone with 500K, right? You've already set aside
yes,
100K for rent. We said, you have to have a rent plan. You have to have a
yes,
transport plan. You have to have a feeding plan and
yes.
all. So under my rent plan, 100K is set aside every month to meet my 1.2
Okay.
million naira rent at the end of the year. Under my budget, 100K is set aside for investing. So the balance of the 300K or whatever the amount is left is what I have
Mm,
to spend.
right.
So with that in mind, I have discipline. Someone walks up to me and says, "Oh, I have a brand new bag for sale." What comes to your head? My rent, my goals. You have a goal, you walk in line, you
Target.
focus, my target. But imagine you don't have a goal. You pick up that bag. Do you understand? So how
Yes.
often do I review that goal? As I achieve the goal, I tick it. So for instance, I've achieved my goal of 1.2 million naira rent at the end of the year. I tick it. I start again. But I can also have the goal to say in another 10 years time, I don't want to pay rent.
Mm,
I don't want to pay rent. What do I need to do to ensure I don't pay rent? That technically means you have to have a house. What do I need to do? Do I need to create a side business to make profit from, to ensure I grow my income beyond my 9 to 5 so that I can have money to invest in a house so that in 10 years' time, my goal of not paying rent will be achieved. So my point is that there are different financial goals. There's the annual rent goal. There's the monthly expense goal. There's the 10-year not paying rent again goal, right?
yeah.
There's the 15-year ensuring that by the time I retire, I'm not dependent on my pension alone. So you have different goals. So as you go along, you review your goals. Okay, I'm in month 6, I'm in June. Have I saved 600K? What has stopped my saving 600K? What do I need to adjust? Remember that you've been writing down your expenses down, right, since the beginning. Where has my money been going to that I've not been able to achieve the 600K goal? What do I
Mm,
need to adjust to ensure that in 6 months' time, I'm not sweating when the landlord calls for his rent? So these are the
mm,
things we do. Oh, I had a goal for 1 year, 6 months. Am I meeting my goal? Does it look like I'm to meet up with my goal? What is stopping me? What do I need to adjust? Okay, 3 years down the line, I've been paying rent for the past 3 years. In this next 7 years, I don't want to pay rent again. Have I grown my income such that I can set money aside to focus to ensure that I pick up a flat before 10 years? It's not impossible. Now, let
it's
me tell
not.
you something. There's something that people are doing now. They call it land banking. Land banking. You come together, you have, remember you're in a community, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully you have trusted people, people that have integrity in that community. Imagine you have if like 8, 9 friends who are focused like you are, and whose goal is also to grow their income, accelerate action, as we said in the Women International Day thing, right? I'm disciplined. I'm saving money. Can we come together and buy a land? Yes, it's possible. How much is a land? Maybe you go towards an area that is not totally developed, but obviously you ensure that you have to have professionals around you, those who are known in the real estate business, those who are so that someone doesn't trip you, right? You put all your checks in place. You get a lawyer. Can a lawyer do a JV for us as a group, as an investment club?
Mm.
Can we be accountable to each other and contribute money regularly? Maybe the money you're contributing now, all of you put it together as a group in a fixed income place. Because obviously you can't put that kind of money in a stock market. The market can be volatile up and down. Can we put money together for a number of months, get to a particular amount, and go and buy a land? Now the land can be 20 million, but by the time 4, 5, 10 of you are disciplined enough to save together for 8 months, you probably have 20 or 30% of that money on ground. Can we get a mortgage for the balance? Pick up a land. In 2, 3 years' time, I almost guarantee you that money, that land value will not be the same. In three
True.
years' time, you flip the land. You've made probably 50%. It's not money doubling. No. You've made 50% in 2, 3 years' time. You now have solid amounts that you can use to probably go and invest
Do your own thing.
to buy
Yeah.
your own personal land. So you don't have to start by owning your own personal land. You can start by doing a joint venture with a number of people and be disciplined about it. How they go. You buy an asset. In 2, 3 years' time, you guys sell it and share the money equally. But by then, you would have grown your money such that you have enough money to put down as equity for your own personal land. And obviously, the sky is the limit from there. By the time you get your own land, what happens? You start putting block by block. It's not compulsory that you must do your full house in a day, right? And not compulsory you must do a skyscraper. You can have
Scraper.
a bungalow on that land. Your home
Mm.
and dry. Your home and dry. So you just have to think forward, think beyond limitations, grow your thought process. Look at people that have the same goals and focus with like you, and you can encourage each other. You
Mm.
can be accountable to one another and move on. As a woman, it's beyond just having a new Gucci bag or a new Gucci shoe and all. No, think investment, think growing your income, think multiple sources of income. Thank you.
Thank you so much. In fact, I have a real life experience with what you just said. So I have a friend that they grouped together to buy a land. And not just buy a land, you won't believe that they also they didn't flip it. They built terrace houses on that land. So on
That's
that
it.
land, there are 4 terrace houses. So at the end of the day, you see that your neighbors are actually your friends, that you built
Yeah,
the land together.
yeah,
You bought the land together and you built the house together. So you have
yeah,
a set of houses, four in one,
yeah,
and
yeah,
each person is in their own house, is a terrace.
yeah,
So they are sharing.
yeah,
So basically, this
yeah.
land
Absolutely.
investment that you just mentioned is not theory. I'm just saying
Yeah,
it's not
that's
theory. It's something that people
done.
are actually doing, right? And
Yeah,
it gives you peace of mind. The
yeah,
headache is gone.
yeah,
It's really
yeah,
gone. So
yeah.
just two more
And
questions.
there's so much opportunities and there's so much opportunities in the real estate business today. Even so much opportunities, so much opportunities. Yeah,
Yes. So, like you said, we need to get in touch with the experts, the lawyers,
yeah,
the
yeah.
estate surveyors, and all of
Real
that to
estate
make sure.
developers and all, so that you don't
Yes,
make a
yes,
mistake. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Because with your eagerness to invest, you don't want to run into trouble,
yeah. You don't
right?
want to throw
So
money away.
you don't want to run into trouble. So just two more questions. Thank you so much, Tosin, for for spending
Okay.
time with us today.
Thank you
So
for
how
having
can
me.
we So how can women, right, not just healthcare? So you realize that even though it's a healthcare platform and we are talking to women and men in healthcare, you can see that the advice being given right now is applicable across board. So regardless, you're a lawyer, you're an architect, and you just stumbled on this live stream, you realize that the advice is really practicable. It's something that you can just at the end of it all, just get your phone, get on the call, go out to your community, say hi, so many things that you can do right here, right now, without having to do extra study or extra certification for. So now, as women, right? How do we overcome that feeling of being too busy? We are always very busy, busy doing things. No, but the things are not focusing on our financial growth. No, it's not there at all. So what else can we do that will help us? How can we overcome this? I'm very busy. I don't have time. I have this. I have that. Do we need to put it in our daily schedule? Do we need to set reminders? What can we do? So how can we as women let go of this I am too busy to focus on our finances and prioritize our financial well-being?
Okay. You know, like we said, you need to know what is important to you. What's important to you? What do you I'm sorry I'm going this route. When you leave this earth, what do you want to be known for? What legacy do you want? You have to look just look at your life and say, what do I want to achieve? What do I want to achieve? Um, there's a need for you to prioritize, yes. There's a need for you to set plans. Now, what works for me, because I'm actually involved in a number of things also, and for me I set reminders. For me, I set goals. I have I have the time I have for my family. I have the time for work. But what I do is after work time, work ends. Work ends after
Mm,
work time. Family starts. At
mm,
a point, I have time for ministry. So you have to understand that without saying that your life is in compartments, really, you have different values you're adding. So you have to ensure that at the end of the day, you have a full, complete life. Now, if you say, oh, I'm just busy with my work, at some point, if you ignore your family, it will tell. But at the end of the day, when you ignore your family, you will not be at peace at work, right? If you say you only have time for family, you don't have time for work, you know what that means. That means you'll not be able to pay your bills, right? If you say you have time for family, you don't have time for business, you have time for work, you don't have time for business by the side. We've been hearing of different layoffs, right? So you need to understand that there are different aspects that you need to look at. And what just works for me is at the end of the day, this time is for this, that time is for that, the other time is for that time, and there shouldn't be no overlap. That's it. And obviously you still create time for rest. So it's not impossible. And again,
yes.
as women, we know how to multitask. So yeah.
Yes. So the final question for such an impactful um, event and let's say sharing of insights and knowledge. So this question just came in. Thank you for the presentation. Oh, thank you so much. How do you balance investing and spending for the good things of life, like a holiday, a spa treatment, all of that? I have heard about an investment procedure that aligns with a particular age group. Can you please speak to this?
Hmm. Hmm. You know, we said discipline is important, right? There's a difference
Yes.
between needs and wants. Needs and wants. Let me give you a typical example.
But we need to enjoy
I
ourselves. We
I
need to go on
need
holiday.
I need a phone. I need a phone, right? Do I need an iPhone? No. So an
Yes.
iPhone is a want. A phone is a need. It's good to go on holiday. It's good to go on holiday, but it's important you stay focused. Now, I have a question. Does it make sense for me to go on a 4 million naira holiday when I don't have 100K saved? Is a question.
No, it
It's
does
a
not
question.
really. That's why we need our
No, it doesn't.
emergency fund.
That's why you need beautiful, absolutely. So, like we said earlier, you start with your emergency fund. 6 months worth of expense. But remember, I had said that you can't know your expenses if you are not documenting. Right. So
Yes.
if I have my emergency fund on ground and I have a number of investment on ground, then I can decide I want to go on a holiday. But you need to you need to weigh the balance. So I'm going on a holiday. The cost of my holiday, do I have up to that amount saved apart from that holiday? If I don't, then that holiday is a want, is not a need. Because the truth is that the holiday will end, right? Holiday is not forever. Holiday 1 week, holiday 2 weeks, holiday 1 month. I go on a holiday, I come back, I face my job. Now imagine as you come back from your holiday, you get sacked for whatever reason, maybe 2 months down the line. Do we understand? So I'm not saying it's not good to have fun and enjoy, but you have to create a balance. So whatever it is I want to consume, do I have up to that amount invested? If yes, well, go ahead. But if no, build first. Build first before you go, and let your returns guarantee your holiday trip. What do I mean? Imagine if in the last 5 years you've invested worth 10 million naira, right? And that investment is giving you a return of 2 million naira per annum. You can wake up and say, I have 10 million worth of investment. I have 2 million in return in the year 2025. I go on a 2 million naira holiday. Beautiful. Your investment has funded your holiday. Not that your capital, your seed is what you are using on a holiday. Do we understand? So work with the mindset that I invest first. Then my investment can fund my holiday. Beautiful. But not that my hard earned money without investment is funding my chop life enjoyment. No. Thank you.
Yes, and I second that because from research, really, I see the high network people. They don't they don't spend their investments. It's
Mm,
whatever
mm,
the returns on that investment is what they spend. It's you.
absolutely.
Yeah, you could say like someone that is into real estate, right? And you have
Mm,
like maybe
yeah.
10, 20 houses in your portfolio. When you get the monthly rent or
Rent,
the yearly rent of
annual
that,
rent. Yeah.
that's what they
Yeah.
use to fund their own houses, the cars they drive, their
Okay.
boat
To maintain
cruises,
their
their
lifestyle. To maintain their
everything.
lifestyle.
Right? So they
Yeah.
will not necessarily sell those houses to go on a
No.
vacation. It's the
No.
proceeds from renting out their house or leasing it out is what they use. So yes, I'm just buttressing your point
But
here.
remember,
Thank
we
you so
also
much.
thank you. But remember also that the idea behind all this is not that we are planning for you to suffer. It's the idea that when you get to the retirement age, you are not
Yeah,
dependent. You're not looking back in regrets, wasted time, wasted funds,
yeah,
and all. You're independent. You're not waiting for your children to give you money. You're not waiting for pension money. You are independent because all your investments are now generating income to maintain your lifestyle at
yeah.
retirement. Yeah,
Yes. So we are thinking ahead 10,
yeah,
20, 30
absolutely.
years down the line. That's what we are
Accelerating
aiming for, really.
action. Absolutely.
Exactly. Sustainability all the way.
By the way.
Sustainability all the way. So, Tosin, this is just, I keep saying this is the final question, but it just keeps coming. What are some common financial myths, right, or anxieties that women often face? And how can we overcome that and build our financial confidence?
Okay. One of the myth is investing is only for the rich. That's not true. Like I said before, you just need discipline. You need to stay focused. You need to know what your goals are. Like we get to give an example, my rent goal, my investing goal, my emergency fund goal, my not having to pay rent goal. You understand? So there are different goals. You sit down and say, what do I want in my life? What do I want for my life? So investing not for the rich. It's only for the rich. That's not true. Now, they say you cannot start saving for retirement till you're older. That's not true because there's a compounding effect when you start investing early. Like I said previously, imagine that in the last 1 year, every month you kept investing monthly, right? Imagine even if it's a 1 year treasury bill. By now, every month you'll be having maturities. What does maturities mean? Your money has stayed for one year, you are getting a return of 20%. Do we understand? So the earlier
Yeah.
you start investing, the better, the easier it is because the discipline would have started early, right? And the more you are able to do financially. Um, Another myth is that you cannot start investment to have a lot of money. That's not true. As little as, no matter how much you think you are earning in monthly amounts, right? You can save and invest from that amount. I get it. If I said the savings bond, monthly savings bond in Nigeria today, I'm looking at Nigerian space, is 5K is the minimum, 5,000 naira. So, and some of us have more than 5,000 naira in our bank accounts. I line idle. That money can generate more money for you than you can imagine. Do we understand? So these are some of the myths that people come up with, and they say, "Oh, I'm a female. No, I can't do so much." No, you can learn. You can improve yourself. And thank God for online access today. There's so many things you can learn and read online to improve yourself, to improve your knowledge, and to grow. The idea behind this is just for us to be able to grow, accelerate action, grow, move beyond your limits, move beyond your psychological, physical limits. Do more. You can do more, and we can do more. Thank you.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. That was excellent. That was excellent. Now, so many people are wondering. They just got like finance 101 get landing on their lap this afternoon or morning or evening, depending on where they're joining us from. Now, if they want to look at can they get supported, is there a community they can join? Are there resources? I mean, know you mentioned like two books earlier. Are there resources they can go into? What is there a website they can go to learn more? Invest 101. I know there's something called Investopedia, but are there communities? Is there any support that is useful and is relevant to them accelerating action right now?
Yes, well, I work for a financial services company, investment financial services, and we have a community. We have a
Mm,
investment education community, right? I can always
mm,
share with our hosts. We have investment community, education community, and every week we come up with different topics as regards investment, risk, real estate, all sort of things, investment, treasury, all sort of things as regards investment.
mm.
So we have that community, and I don't mind sharing that link with the host. And as you join that community, most likely you get educated on more things and have more ideas. So yes, there is.
Oh wow, that would be great. That would be great. So for anyone who wants to get that link or get more information, you could just reach out to me and I'll just put you through accordingly. So we've come to the end of this really, really insightful, intriguing, so educative, right? Webinar, live event. And I want to just say thank you so much, Tosin. This has been an absolutely invaluable session
Thank you for having
filled with
me.
actionable
Thank you for
insights.
having me.
Filled with actionable
Thank
insights,
you.
right? Thank you so much for sharing your expertise. And you can also reach out to Tosin if you just want to get some financial advice. Oh, yeah, you have this, you want to do this. It's just plain financial advice, and she can guide you accordingly as a finance expert. Thank you so much once again. And this was brought to you
Thanks
by
for
Beyond
having me.
Healthcare Mentorship Platform. It's like a it's like a will I say seed company, right, that focuses on mentoring healthcare professionals. So many things that are going on within our life, within our career, and we want to ensure that you are guided right. And in lieu of that, I'm opening up just 3 slots for mentorship in the month of April. You can send me a DM or just go through my profile and you get a link to apply or sign up as you will. Thank you so much once again for joining us. It has been an
Thank
incredible
you.
time. And we look forward to having you again sometime soon, Tosin. And
Okay.
for the Beyond Healthcare members and for those on our platform, we will share accordingly this video on our YouTube um, channel and also on LinkedIn. So you could just have a replay and get as much notes as you can to accelerate action as a woman in healthcare or as a healthcare professional. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. It has been a wonderful 1 hour of sharing insights and knowledge. So, till we see you again next time, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.